So I want to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You have no idea how overjoyed I am to be here tonight, to be with you, my new community, and I pray that we get to know each other, to know each other's stories. I'm a big believer in joy, so you may see me dancing a little bit up here. I won't go into yoga, no downward dog, but I may dance a little bit. And I have such a tremendous, I don't even know how to describe this honor. I have met so many of you already, and I feel like, I'm with my people. I feel like I've met so many people that I love. And one of the people that I love the most is your Cantor, Gabby Clissold. I have known Gabby since before I was married, and I was married 23 years ago, is that right? So it's just such a fabulous opportunity for me to work with so many outstanding people. And I want to thank the search committee and Jay Figus. I want to thank everyone who helped to prepare a wonderful dinner. Margie, thank you. I want to thank everyone who came in and did flowers, and just people who have come into my office and said hello and remembered that I said that I'm a hugger. I love hugs, and I love to give hugs. And if I'm too strong, then just let me know. I don't want to break anyone. So before we begin, I'd like to make an announcement that if anyone is near a prayer book that they won't be using tonight, to please hold it up so that it can be collected and passed back to people who don't have prayer books.
In the front. In the front. It's like everyone went to preschool and they learned to share. It's so nice.
But I gotta say, it says a lot about this congregation and people who are willing to share their prayer books and pass it back to people who don't have. It means that you all really care about each other and love to be together, and that's wonderful. So we're gonna begin tonight with the Nigun, which is melody without words, so that everyone can participate. You can sing any kind of song you want, but if you can try to sing with the Nigun, sing it. I just want to let everyone know that I would love for everyone to participate, that if there's a reading, I want you to read with me, and I'm going to ask you to. That this is not about me and all of us up on the bima, it's about us coming together as a community and leading ourselves in prayer that's exciting, that's inviting, and being able to chant from the Torah and keep so many of the traditions that are so wonderful here. I'm not going to change anything because I'm changed enough. So just you wait.
Our opening prayer, as Rabbi explained, is going to just start out with words like lie, lie, or you can sing I, or whatever you want. Lie, 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 lie. Faster. Lie, 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 lie,
our prayer books to page 120. And at this time, I'd like to invite up the members of the search committee and the dinner committee to please lead us in the candles and kiddush. Sorry, not too loud.
Come on over here. All right, let's read the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. We turn the page for the kiddush. Here we go. Take a cup. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah le'mikra'e kodesh, zeichen etziat mitzrayim, kivanu b'charta, v'otanu kidasha, mikol ha'avim, v'shabbat kodecha, v'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim, it's grape juice. You want some? All right. Great job.
Is it good?
Thank you. That's it. You did your job, everybody.
Okay, boys. Time to go.
We continue on page 146 as we rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach.
We remain standing and we turn to the Shema, which is found on page 152.
Shema Yisrael
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר נוגעים צווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So I thought tonight was a perfect night to share with you a story that was written by my rabbi growing up, Rabbi Larry Kushner, who was a mystic, and he was a wonderful rabbi. And he could take the words and turn them around, and you go, oh, wait a second, I never thought about it that way. So he tells the story of the people crossing the sea. Nachshon walks in, and the sea divides, and everyone can see fish of every color on every side. And they're looking, and they're astonished because of the brilliance of the colors, and they've never seen anything that happened in the sea before. And at the back, two guys, Shlomi and Jaime, of course, that's their names, are looking down at their feet. And they're, ugh, the sandals don't feel so good in this mud. Isn't this the mud that we used to use to make everything in Egypt? Yeah, we don't want it anymore. And they spent their entire journey complaining about the mud. And when everyone crossed the sea, they turned to them and said, didn't you see the miracles around you? What are you talking about? What miracles? We focused on the mud. And they were, oh, you missed the most incredible opportunity of your life. If you had just looked up, you would have seen that blessings and wonders are everywhere. And sometimes we spend our life looking down at our feet, worrying about which foot is going to go next, and we don't take time to look at the world around us. But when you do, there are so many wonderful, beautiful things to behold. I learned this story when my kids were children, and it would take them 45 minutes to get to the car that was right outside the door, because they would lean down and stop and pick up every worm and every bug, and oh, can you imagine this? Can we cook this for dinner? So yeah, there were times where we did have cooked worms and everything else, but it's so important that we look around us and see the beauty in every day. So we're going to continue by singing Mi Chamocha on page 158.
Mi chamocha, ha'enim Adonai. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh. Nora, tehilot, osei, velech. Nora, tehilot, osei, velech. Mi chamocha, ha'enim Adonai. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh.
On page 159, we read the English together. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. a song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and cool, who surges home to leave no more, a song of the world redeemed, a song of peace.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, aporei sukat shalom, ahadeinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
Thank you, Cantor. That was incredibly beautiful. We turn to page 164 as we rise for Hatzafilah, the standing prayer.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Ilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Ilatecha. Oh God, open up our lips that we begin to pray. Oh God, open up our lips that we begin to pray. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Ilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agite Ilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, En Yehud, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Chaser Bod V'Imahot, V'Vigula Nivnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshe Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham v'Yizrat Sarah, Atah Gibor L'olam Adonai, V'chei Kol Atah, Rab Nehoshia, Morir Hatzam, Mechalkel Chayim V'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim, Samich Nofel olim b'alfei olim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayim emunato l'shinei afar. Micha mocha bal gevurot, u'midam melach, melech memit u'mechayim, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'neman hatana hachayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mechayehi hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'kol yom yahallucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'il hakadosh.
Please be seated. We turn to page 173 to read responsively. I'd like to ask that those on the left side read with me first, and those on the right side lead with Cantor Clissold. So we begin. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which comes from the shunning of the whore, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans.
Shakas Adonai, deny us to the false, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryear.
Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality.
Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
We turn to page 178 and sing together the words of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki atah hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atah hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam.
We take moments in our service to pray silently, either the prayer of your heart or your mind or whatever you're thinking about right now. One of the words for prayer is lahitpalel, which is reflexive, and it means basically to get in touch with yourself. So we're invited every week on Shabbat to sit together and to ask ourselves, how's your week been? Are there stuff that you want to leave behind? And if you do, breathe them out, and we'll make sure they're gone from here the next time you come. Or think about beautiful moments that you want to hold on to. We pause for moments of silent prayer. I'd like to ask everyone to rise and turn to page 364 for Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of Torah.
Torah.
be seated. Tonight we're going to be reading a little bit out of Parshat Pinchas, which is our Torah portion for the week. If you turn to page 918 in your Humashim, your red Humashim. Yeah, no?
There's about 4 on each row.
Okay, so share. Pinchas is a very interesting Torah portion. It's loaded with many different stories. And the beginning, which we're going to look at tonight, is in the last parsha, we learned that there is a man named Pinchas who was an extreme zealot. God wanted the people Israel to worship only one God. It's the same story over and over again throughout the Torah. And so God says to them, you can only basically have a relationship with someone who is of the same tribe. And Pinchas sees these two people, Zimri and Cosbi, one a Midianite, one a Bnei Israel, and takes his sword and, I'm not going to describe anymore. But in his zealotry, he kills them both. And God is awed. And God says, you've turned my jealousy, my anger away by your impassioned statement. And he says, because of this, the people of Israel will survive. The plague will be no more. And I will give you a covenant of peace forever. So this is a story that we're going to discuss another time because we need to discuss, what is good and what is bad in terms of zealotry and how we approach it. How far to the right do we have to go to make God happy? How far to the left do we have to go to make God happy? And does God really want us to engage in acts of murder to turn plagues away? I don't think so, but that's something else that we can definitely talk about. At this time, I would love to invite forward the presidents and past presidents of the Torah.
Congregation.
Of the congregation. Oh, did I just say the Torah? Maybe that's all of us.
No, maybe that means something, right?
We're all past presidents of the Torah, but past presidents and presidents of the congregation to do us the honor of leading us in the Aliyah.
You ready? Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher akarvanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. So I just want to let you know I've got contacts on and prescription glasses over them to try to make this a little bit bigger. So I'm seeing double right now, and you all look fantastic in double vision. But let's see how the Torah looks. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. And God spoke to Moses, saying, Pinchas ben Eliezer ben Aharon HaKohen, Pinchas the son of Eliezer, the son of Aaron the Kohen, the high priest, Heshiv et Hamati ma'al b'nei Yisrael, has turned my anger away from the people Israel. Bekano et kaniti betocham. And Pinchas has led me to turn any kind of anger or any kind of justice, salvation that I wanted to take out on them, has turned that around so that the people Israel will live. Velo kaniti et b'nei Yisrael. Bekonati lachen amor. Hine noten lo et brit shalom. And so God rewarded Pinchas with the Brit Havshalom, the covenant of peace. And it goes on to say that this is a blessing for all time, for all of Pinchas's relatives, all the way down to now. We're going to focus on one word in this Torah portion in a short time, and that word is Hineni.
Baruch
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'tarmanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Okay, we'll be back.
Thank you very much.
Please rise. That's my cue. Vezot haTorah asher samoshe b'nei Yisrael v'Adonai b'yad Moshe. Vezot haTorah asher samoshe b'nei Yisrael ad b'Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai 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 lai. Renee, stay out from the Torah first. Hang on. Lai 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 lai. Page 371. Rabbi, I know you were excited to push that
I
button.
was excited.
You're very, I know. And you'll get
And
your,
I'll get my opportunity.
you'll absolutely get your
And
opportunity.
even during the week, I can come in and push the
Push
button.
it all week long.
Note, that is my first major mistakes. I own my mistakes.
I don't really think that's a mistake. It's okay.
I got a little excited.
Don't get excited.
At this time in our prayers, we focus on those in our lives and in our community who are suffering, whether in terms of physical health, spiritual health, mental health. We never know what someone else is going through. And so I'm going to read these names, and then I'm going to ask you to add your names from your family, from your community, of everyone that we should be thinking of at this time. We mention the name of Rabbi Robert Orak, Nancy Baskin, Martha Brandwine, Norma Cohn, Miriam Soland, Elaine High, Nancy Keller Coffey, Robert Summers, Louisa Corallo, Jessica Knight, Niles Chopair, Alice Chopair, Judith Landau, Pam Friedman, Eric Blumenfeld, Debbie Levin, and Larry Boxman. If there's anyone else that we should mention at this time, I'm going to turn to this side of the congregation and ask you to share your names. Thank you.
William Farr.
Amy,
Thank you, and for our friends who are on live stream, please mention the names of those that you're thinking about and praying for, and we'll add them to our prayers.
We sing together our Misha Berach prayer. reach the button.
Thank you.
Page 374.
It's
So I guess I really do need to come in here when no one's here and work on pressing the buttons and making sure that they work. I thought long and hard about what I wanted to say tonight. Looking at the Torah portion, we could talk about the 23,000 names, each one mentioned by name, of the male Israelites who were to serve in the army. And we could talk about the importance of naming and what our names mean. Yeah. Or we could focus on those special names, Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, and Tirzah, the daughters of Zelophehad, who were not connected to any men and were worried about losing their father's land. I know you know how the story ends. They go and speak to Moses, who speaks to God, and lo and behold, they're able to have a portion of their father's land. Each one of them gets their own inheritance. It's a major moment in Torah. But as I thought about this moment, there were so many words stirring around in my head. First of all, I assumed that my first Shabbat, there would be 20 people here. I guess I was deluding myself. And then as the numbers grew and grew and grew and grew, I got more excited, but also more anxious. And now I'm just overjoyed to be here and to be able to look into your faces. I want to speak about one specific word that was in the Torah portion, and that word is hineni. Here I am, as I am, fully present in this space with you. We know that when one responds hineni in the Torah, it is a moment of great significance. Hineni is only mentioned in Torah 17 times. That's it, 17 times. And yet it's a word that our rabbis have focused on. It's a word that we have focused on. I think Buber would call it an I-thou moment, where we're able to connect for that second, and then when we realize, oh, what time is it? We've lost that connection. So I stand here saying hineni to each of you tonight. It's the ultimate response. I see you, I hear you, and I am fully with you and will be fully with you. I want to know your stories. I want to know where you come from and where you see yourself going on this life. I want to know about your Jewish journeys and what your passions are. Do you want more Torah study? Do you want more social justice? And let's figure out a way to make it happen together. In Exodus, God asked Moses to come up to the mountain and be there. Now, I've taught a lot of 7th grade classes, and I asked them, what do you think God is asking? And they usually say, well, God's repeating God's self. go up there and be there. Same thing. But it's not. Going up there is a physical being. But being there is being there with your entire self, with your passion, with your love, and ready to jump into whatever anyone asks of you. Hineni, we are all here tonight responding to the fullness and pregnancy of what this moment means for us. We are beginning a journey together. And I know it'll be one of amazing connection. Tonight, I become your rabbi, your teacher, your spiritual advisor, your hand holder, your shoulder, your support, and your friend. And you become Ravli, my teacher, the one who gives me a shoulder to cry on when I need it. Or someone who tells me a really good joke because I love to laugh more than anything else in this world. I want us to connect through our stories, through healing our corner of the world, and making Monmouth Reformed Temple a place that speaks to each of us as individuals and together as a community, whoever we are, wherever we are on life's journey, wherever we are in our Jewish journeys, and those are all different. I pray that we have many moments where God sits between us, and that word, Hineni, flashes before our eyes. And recognizing that we are all here together in this moment, I have asked the Cantor if she would lead us all in the prayer, the words of Shechianu. This is my first time on this bima. This is my first time in front of many of you. I look forward to getting to know you after dinner. I know some of you already know this, but I'm a hugger. If you don't like to hug, that's okay, put your hand up. But I'll accept any hugs that I can get. So we join together in the Shechianu.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who has enabled us to reach together this day of joy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen.
From this time forward, may we continue to walk through life together. I'm here. Use me. In a good way. We turn to the Aleinu on page 586 as we rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakom l'tekedu l'yotzei bereshit shehu notet shamayim b'yotzei la'aretz u'moshav yekara b'shamayim mimahal u'shchinatu zo b'govhei meromim u'Eloheinu Elohim v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu
We turn to page 592. When I became a rabbi, I inherited a big, massive book of poetry from my mentor, Rabbi Ron Friedman. And in that book, I found this poem by Mary Malloy. But at the time, it said anonymous. And so I figured out, no, there's got to be a name here. Someone wrote this poem. It's so fabulous. And I did some research and learned that it was written by Mary Malloy, who went by the name of Mary. This is the only poem she ever wrote. And she wrote it at her husband's death. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And if you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than sounds. So look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch bodies and by letting go of children who need to be free. You see, love never dies. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, please give me away. Before we stand for Kaddish, I'd like to mention the name of Alan Balestros in the period of Shiva and Betty Wolf in the period of Shloshim. And we also mark the yard sites of those that we loved who have died in this season in years past. David Applefield, Jack Barshak, Edward Glover Chandler, Samuel Kleiman, Murray Collier, George Cook, Gay Fehrenbach, Max Fassner, Abraham Frankel, Joseph Grossman, Milton I. Marks, Edna Jupiter, Ruth Kaplan, Louis Levin, Camille Pratt, George Rawson, George Ruby, Irving Schneider, Gabrielle Silverman, and Jennifer R.W. Swift. If there are any other names that we should mention at this time, please state them aloud.
Samuel Frieder.
Thank you. We rise as one community and join in the mourner's Kaddish together. Yitkada v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, Yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu. Leila mikol birchata v'shirata, tushvichata v'nechamata, damira mi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Please be seated. Oh,
Hang on.
no.
Oh, say shalom b'mramav, huyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Please be seated. I'd like to welcome forward at this time our President, Dean Ross, who has some announcements for us this week.
My daughter said
you're going to have your own parking spot. And I came here today, somebody was in my spot. Shabbat Shalom. And on behalf of Monmouth Reformed Temple, I want to welcome you for joining us tonight. Before I read the announcements, Rabbi Sharon and I welcome you to our temple. Shane, your husband, hopefully I remember, Jackson, Bailey, and Sophie.
Yes.
Welcome
And
to our
Shane is my
family,
husband.
and also to our MRT family. We welcome you. Before I read the announcements, also another shout out to Jay Figus for doing a great job with the committee, Margie and other people that have helped Jordana in the office. Again, thank you. And Mustafa, always there.
Okay.
And I also want to say every Tuesday, I know it's in the e-blast, every Tuesday morning between 8 and 9, I'm there and other board members are at Coffee Corral in Red Bank. So if you want to go there, have coffee, we can talk about whatever. So again, a reminder, I'm there every Tuesday with other board members. I'll continue with the announcements. Virtual Torah study is tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Google Meet. Contributions to Tzedakah for the month of July will benefit The Source at Red Bank Regional High School. The Source is a school-based youth service program committed to supporting the mental health, well-being, and educational success of all students. They build public and private partnership to ensure quality services that are effective, culturally appropriate, and response to the diverse, changing needs of students and the communities. All Source programs are free. Monica and James Brewer are matching donors. They are here today. If they can wave, if people want to talk to them further about it, they are here, and you can talk to them after dinner. They're members of our congregation who are very sensitive to scents and fragrances. MRT strives to provide a scent-free environment in our building. MRT community asks that you avoid wearing cologne and perfume, and also tell your guests that are attending. MRT continues to engage together in meaningful ways. We would love for more people to invest in our mission of connecting us as a Jewish community. We welcome your investment of time as well as donations to help us grow. For more information, please contact our MRT family, or making a donation, please contact Jordana Steinberg, the Cantor, or also our Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful job, Dean. Rabbi Edelman, thank you for leading us in a beautiful service.
Thank you.
We welcome your family. We are so glad you've brought many of your friends as well. And our MRT family is so overjoyed to have you here. I want to give my thanks as well to the committee. He's done a phenomenal job. And also want to thank Dr. Peter Isherwood, who accompanied the music tonight, because he really wanted to make sure he got to meet you, Rabbi. And Peter will be playing beautiful music for us during dinner as well. So thank you, Peter. We also have other visiting clergy here. We have Reverend Katya Grunin. And Reverend Katya, we are so delighted to have you. And I know you made a special effort to come here tonight, Rabbi, because you would not miss coming here to meet and greet and welcome Rabbi Edelman. And I know you went through a lot to get here tonight, and that means so much to all of us here.
Thank you.
Our closing song, Adon Olam, is on page 625, the prayer book. I call it, Peter called it something else. I call it the John Wayne Adon Olam. I don't know. Mine seemed like a John Wayne movie, but you give me your own opinion later on.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Nehi Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'achari Kichlot Zakon, Levado, Yimloch Nora, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Haveh, Ve'hu Yiyeh, Ve'tifara, Ve'hu Echad, V'hin Sheni, Lehamshilo, Lehachmira, V'direshit, V'ditachnit, Ve'lo ha'oz, Ve'hamizra, Ve'hu Eli, Ve'chai Gadif, Ve'tzur Chemri, V'Yitzhara, Ve'hu Nisi, U'manasli, Menat Kosim, Ve'yom Ekra, Ve'yahadu, Avkitruchim, Ve'hin Tishran, Ve'yayira, Ve'yimrahi, Yeviati, Adonai li, Ve'lo yira.
I love that. That's The River is Wide, right?
Yes, it is. It is, absolutely is. Very derivative, I know.
Before we go into dinner, I've got a couple announcements. In order to leave time to set up for dinner, we're either going to stay in the sanctuary or go out and talk in the front hall and get to know each other. Well, I need to get to know you, and I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to do that. I want to thank my Cantor, my friend, for helping to lead me through this service. I have been watching on live stream every service that you have there to try to figure out the different melodies, what happens here, what happens there, and it's been wonderful, but it's even better in person. I want to thank Rabbi Sally Presam for speaking with me yesterday and giving me words of wisdom. I needed to hear them, and I did. And I need to thank Jay Figus and the committee more than anyone else. From the first moment that I met everyone on Zoom, I felt comfortable. You allowed me to express who I was. And then in the last interview, you gave me permission to ask you questions, to tell you who I was a little bit more, but to ask you questions, which I loved, and I took advantage of that. So this is just the beginning of a blessed relationship. May it continue and continue and continue. I'd like to invite anyone under the age of 21 to please come forward and lead us in Motzi. I'm going to be helping you. No one's doing this alone.
All right, We see some people
I
coming up.
see some of you people.
Okay.
You can't hide.
Bill, you're not 21 yet?
No, 19.
Here we come, our young people.
There we go. Thanks, guys. Hi.
Hi, Hope. Hi, Amy.
Come forward. All right, ready? Together? Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Amos lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. So I say b'tei avon, which means eat well, instead of amen, because it means basically ditto after you say a blessing. So I want all of you to come up and grab a piece of challah.
It's
Don't be
already
shy.
cut.
Right from the middle. That's the best place to take it, right from the middle. Just grab and pull. One hand. Right there.